Ladies and gentlemen, Secretary Lynn.
Secretary Guerin, Secretary Donnelly, Secretary Hale, General Corelli, Sergeant Major, Janet, Paul, Tim, Nicole, the whole Monti family, friends of Sergeant First Class Jared Monti. Altogether, I think you're the size of several platoons here. And all the tributes that have been offered this week, perhaps the most moving is the presence of so many of you who love Jared so much. I was honored just to spend a very few moments in my office with Janet, Paul, and the family. I know this family has endured a loss that few will ever know. And your love and pride in Jared shines for all to see. I know this has been an emotional week, but we are here to make it official, to formally induct Jared into the Hall of Heroes, so I'll be brief. Yesterday, the President shared the remarkable story of Jared's service with the entire nation. General Corelli just recounted the uncommon valor that Jared displayed that night on the mountain. Secretary Guerin has reminded us that even as we honor Jared for acts of heroism, we pay tribute to his life and those who loved him. I want to spend just a few moments on the meaning of the medal itself. We have heard so many times this week, indeed Secretary Guerin just quoted it, for conspicuous gallantry, intrepidity in action at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty. But what does that mean? What does it really mean? Gallantry, not simply courage, but a nobility of spirit, not simply the deed itself, but the devotion behind it. Not simply what is done, but what is felt in the heart, in the soul. And not just gallantry, but conspicuous gallantry. You don't have to go looking for it. It is there in all its glory, in all its greatness, for all to see. It is obvious. It stands out. It is uncommon. Intrepidness, often understood to be fearlessness. But those who have seen war, for all the hardship and horror that it really is, they will be the first to agree. Courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the judgment that something else is more important than fear. In action, the Medal of Honor is not bestowed for service in peace or far from the front. It is reserved for those who are there in military operations, engaged in action against an enemy of the United States. At the risk of his life, the knowledge, the recognition that the actions they are about to take could well take their own life, that the chance of losing one's life is not simply possible, but probable. The danger is indisputable, the consequences are clear, and yet they do it anyway. Above and beyond the call of duty, because duty compels certain things, certain responsibilities. But this is something more. Training cannot account for it. Others do not expect it. Indeed, many others might not do it. This is not simply answering the call of duty. This is truly above. This is truly beyond. For conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity in action, at the risk of his life, above and beyond the call of duty. These are high criteria. And as the President noted yesterday, the Medal of Honor has been in existence for over 150 years. And in all the wars, in all those years, tens of millions of Americans have served in the armed services. But fewer than 3,500 have been recognized with the Medal of Honor. And in a few moments, we will see the name of Sergeant First Class Jared Monti listed among them, rightly, properly, now, and forever. Janet, Paul, the entire Monti family, you gave your son to the Army, and then Jared gave himself for a fellow soldier. He is missed and honored by his unit, by the 10th Mountain Division, and by the entire Army. But please know this. Today, every soldier, sailor, every Marine, every airman, every civilian in the Department of Defense, more than 3 million of us, salute your son. And as we remember Jared's life, those pictures with his smiling face aglow, as we recall his days hiking in those mountains, hiking up in the early morning, that firefight as the night went down, as we honor the heroism for which he receives this medal, we think of words penned in another time, which could have been written for Jared. He was young, straight of limb, true of eye, steady and aglow. He was staunch to end against odds uncounted. He fell with his face to the foe. He shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary him, nor the years contemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember him. Sergeant First Class Jared C. Monti, we salute him, we honor him, and we will always remember him.